Hello and welcome to the Russell Howard Hour. The main story is, of course, the horrific news about Harvey Weinstein.
It is hard to know, really, where to start on the storm surrounding the disgraced movie mogul Harvey Weinstein.
Around 30 women, including some of the world's best-known actresses, have now come forward to say they were abused by him.
Stars like Gwyneth Paltrow,
Angelina Jolie,
Kate Beckinsale,
Ashley Judd,
Zoe Brock,
Mira Sorvino,
Cara Delevingne,
Rose McGowan,
Louisette Geiss.
And 3 women, including actress Asia Argento, say they were raped by Weinstein or forced to perform sex acts.
How on earth did he get away with such grotesque behaviour for so long?
What a despicable piece of shit. He's been accused of sexual abuse, of getting women to watch him in the shower. He's so warped, he even forced one woman into watching him ejaculate into a plant pot. And did you see his fucking excuse?
I came of age in the 60s and 70s when all the rules about behavior in workplaces were different. That was the culture then.
That was the culture in the 60s? I don't remember the Beatles singing about that. It's been a hard day's night, 'cause I've been wanking on a plane. What's he talking about? Martin Luther King had a dream. He didn't have a wet one over a cactus. It's such a bullshit excuse to hide behind. Just because you did something when you're younger, that doesn't mean it's acceptable now. Me and my cousin used to play a game called Tickle Piss. You tickled each other until you pissed yourself. We don't do that anymore. He got married last year. I didn't wander up to him like that. Now, not only did Weinstein blame the 60s, he then tried to gain the world's sympathy by saying he was going to deal with guns. He said that he'll fight the NRA to channel his anger at himself for sexually harassing women. You can't do something horrific and then get away with it by being righteous. You can't cheat on your wife and go, "It's OK, I've adopted a panda." Now fetch me and Lang Lang some bamboo. Now, Harvey Weinstein isn't the only one who's behaved appallingly. Did you see what his brother and co-founder of his company said?
The members of the board, including myself, did not know the extent of my brother's actions.
If you didn't know, then why did he have this in his contract?
Weinstein apparently had a clause in his contract that allowed for sexual harassment if he shelled out the money to make it go away.
How was that allowed? The only thing that contract should have said in big fucking letters is, "Don't rape women!" It's insane. It's in the contract. But it gets even worse. Not only did his company know about it, it looks like they profited from it.
Harvey has to pay a fine. And the way the fine is structured, for the first time he has to pay a settlement, the first time the company has to pay, Harvey has to pay a $250,000 fine. For the second judgment or settlement, he has to pay a $500,000 fine. For the third, $750,000. For the fourth or any number thereafter, he has to pay $1 million each time the company has to pay a settlement.
Every time he sexually abused a woman, the company made money. We knew nothing. Really? Check your fucking bank account. His dick made more money than both the Keith Lemon films. Now, the other thing I couldn't believe, and you may have seen this, some people actually stood up for him. In fact, fashion designer Donna Karan suggested that some of the victims may have been asking for it by the way they dressed. What a load of shit. No woman has ever put on a dress, looked at herself in the mirror and gone, "Please, let me be lucky enough to see a fat man spunk into a pot plant." It's ridiculous. Makes you angry, doesn't it? Makes you really angry. And the other thing that can piss off is the Daily Mail types going, "Why didn't the women of Hollywood speak up? Why were they silent for so long?" Because they were terrified. Let's be honest. Showbiz doesn't really look after women. Chris Brown beat the shit out of Rihanna. 3 years later, he won a Grammy. My sister's an actor. She once had a director who wanted her to audition in her underwear. So she turned up like this. Exactly. We shouldn't be attacking the women who've come forward. We should be praising them. Because this isn't just a Hollywood problem, is it? Every woman watching this has had to deal with a lech like Weinstein. And by these women standing up to this predator, it sends a message to women all over the world that this kind of shit is not allowed. Not at school, not at work, not online. It's not your fault. It's the man's fault. And if you stand up to him, we will stand with you. It wasn't acceptable in the 60s, and it isn't acceptable now. That's how we feel. Now, from a story that breaks you to a story that really cheers you up. Donald Trump has had his state visit to the UK downgraded and will not be a guest of the Queen. So great, isn't it? Just...
Would I like to meet Trump? Absolutely not. If I want to see someone orange and thick, I'll watch Geordie Shore.
Mind you, I think Liz missed the trick, right? She should have invited Trump to the palace and just not let him in. Wouldn't that have been great? Just Trump on the buzzer. Bzz, Your Majesty. Let me in. The Queen's like that. Who you calling Majesty? My name's Dedrick.
I'm doing it, Phil. I'm doing it.
Nice one, Liz. Get in near the window. Get in near the window. Take that, you Satsuma bastard. His presidency is falling apart. Even his own staff were having a pop. Look what his Secretary of State, Rex Tillerson, called him.
The Secretary of State called the president a moron.
And the world went, yeah, you got a point. But it actually turned out that Tillerson didn't call him a moron. He called him a fucking moron. It gets even better. So, what did Trump do? Well, Trump challenged him to an IQ test. And you're like, play to your strengths, Donald. We've all seen you on telly. You're one of the thickest men alive.
If you are saying he can't do his job because of his race, is that not the definition of racism?
No, I don't think so at all.
We see this spirit in the men and women who selflessly enlist. At some point in the future, we're going to look back and say, how did we do it without space? Let's say hacking defense. Like we had a great hacking defense at the Republican National Committee. That's why we weren't hacked. New words that we haven't heard too much of, human traffickers. This is a term that's been going on from the beginning of time. We'll either be very, very successful quickly, or we're going to be very, very successful in a different way quickly. There's a big thing going on right now, which is spying, and you can call it anything you want. We've been able to start nipping it in the bud. We've nipped it in the bud. Let's call it start nipping it in the bud.
Unbelievable. Elsewhere in the news, have you seen the new advert to protect kids from ISIS? Oh, my God. It contains some of the most obvious advice ever.
Police have launched a new campaign to warn young children to run and hide from any terror attack.
I've climbed to the summit of Everest.
I've tackled some big units. I've brought down the All Blacks.
I've started from the bottom and fought my way to the top.
Do you know what I do in a knife or gun terror attack? Run, hide, tell.
What kid isn't going to do that?
Run, hide, tell. I was going to stay, fight, tap, dance. I didn't know. I didn't realise. Shit, Tom, look, there's the terrorist.
Really? Do you want to play Tickle Piss? I just don't don't understand this advert. Look what they think kids are going to do if they're under threat.
They're worried too many are willing to film what happens on their smartphones rather than protect their own safety.
Film it! Do they honestly believe kids are going to do this? Oh, my God, I think there's a terrorist. I'm so scared. It gets weirder. Look at the final bit of advice they're given.
Escape if you can. Can you get away without exposing yourself to greater danger? This is better than surrender or negotiating.
Negotiate. They're telling kids not to negotiate. Are there really children in this country thinking,
I can turn him round?
I want to kill you.
Let's talk this through. Help me. Help you. Help me help you. Would you like a fidget spinner?
Is that some kid?
Oi, Beardy, pick a number, pick a colour, pick a number, pick a colour. Red. R-E-D.
Number! 3.
1, 2, 3. Your interpretation of Islam is naive and simplistic.
Next up. Now, this may be one of the weirdest stories I've ever seen.
Now, a man has survived a brush with death after his heart stopped when a 14-centimetre fish jumped down his throat and stopped him breathing.
I picked it up off the floor, went to give it a kiss before I threw it back, and it literally, imagine you squeeze a bar of soap, it shot out of my hand into my mouth and basically swam straight down my throat.
Feel that? Laughter. He nearly died and we're like, Argh. Thank God he didn't die. That funeral would have been brutal. Oh, come on, you know his mates would have taken the piss just there. God rest his soul. He's gone to a better place. I can't believe he's gone. It's so shellfish. It's so shellfish. Apparently, he was in real trouble. He was in... In fact, he was.
Hello, Sky here. We apologise for the interruption, but Russell's fish puns went on for fucking ages.
He was a trout and out legend. I don't mean to carp on.
Seriously, he went on for hours. OK, he's finished now. No, hang on, there's more. And he's done.
Don't worry, he'll be back. Let's get battered! Join me after the break when I'll be talking to one of the most famous newsreaders in the country, Fiona Bruce. Now, this week, I'd like to talk about cosmetic surgery. Did you know we spend $20 billion a year changing the way that we look?
It seems the trend of plastic surgery is not slowing down.
Surgeons performed more than 20 million cosmetic procedures last year.
Liposuction.
Tucks. Nose jobs.
Fat graft.
Butt implants. We've seen a double-digit rise in all of the 10 cosmetic procedures.
I don't think I could go back down to a D cup.
Shit is the right word, my friends. Plastic surgery's everywhere. Boob jobs, facelifts, tummy tucks. There's women in West London whose faces are so tight, when they wink, their leg goes like that. But we're starting to mess with things that really don't matter. Do you know what the biggest cosmetic surgery trend of 2017 is? Tiny nipples. How are they desirable? Just, whoa, check out the micro nips on that. Oh, it's like a gerbil's nose. What next, micro scrotums?
Yeah, got them done last year. They're like Tic Tacs.
mental. Apparently, the next hot trend is getting Botox in your bumhole. Who has complained about that? I'll tell you what, Sharon, your anus really ages you. Puts years on you, that thing does. It puts years on you. But the thing that broke me the most was this. According to an Australian study, 1 in 5 women want a designer vagina. Women are tampering with their vaginas to make them more aesthetically pleasing. Now, if you're having this done for health reasons, fine. But if you're doing it for cosmetics, that is madness. Vaginas don't need to be changed. They've been perfect for years. It's a fanny. It's not grand designs. Vaginas are amazing. Think about what they do. They give birth, they menstruate, and they deal with dicks. They are solid and they know their own business. You're right, madam. But the thing that really depresses me is that apparently a lot of women are doing this for their boyfriends. They're being pressured by their partner to change their genitals. Now, I don't want to be crude here, ladies, but if your man wants you to change your fanny, you're dealing with the wrong cunt. Don't change your bits for us. I speak as a man and as a huge fan of the vagina. I mean, I used to live in one. I did. I sometimes swing around the old place to see how she's doing. Apparently a lot I don't. That is a joke. It's roomier than I remember. I've never done that. But apparently a lot of men are watching porn and want their women to look like porn stars. If your man wants you to look like a porn star, then hit him back. What's that? Some kind of travel penis? If you want this landscaped, I want an extension. It's so depressing. How about we stop only judging each other on looks? Because it's having a huge effect, particularly on young women. 15% of 7 to 10-year-old girls are ashamed by the way they look. When you're 7, you should know what you look like. You should be riding your bike, jumping in puddles. The only time I looked at my face when I was 7 was when the school photo came out. Just, oh, is that what I look like? My eyes are crazy.
I gotta go, Mum. I'm off to feed my dog Glitter so it poos magic.
But the world's different now. We need to break this surface-level culture that only focuses on looks. Towie, Geordie Shore, the Kardashians, Love Island. Instead of Love Island, we should have a show called Brain Island. Wouldn't that be great? Dear 28, and 2 clever people are giggling about the Large Hadron Collider. Wouldn't that be great? Instead of vapid orange people trying to bang each other, we have a TV show full of people who make you glad to be alive. Like Jean Bishop. She's 95. Every Saturday, she dresses up as a bee and raises money for AIDS UK. Like Marley Diaz. She set up a foundation that gave books to 8,000 poor black girls in America, and she's only 12. Like Kenton Lee. He invented shoes that grow 5 sizes.